Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase and this is All Things Random. Today is finally the deep dive review in the Aventi Pure Sapphire A11-01SE. Now, if you guys have not seen the unboxing and my first impressions of this Aventi A11 Pure Sapphire with the black DLC coated dial, then I'm going to link it right here so you guys can see that first impressions. The packaging on this is absolutely amazing. It is second to the watch, which is even more impressive. Now, the entire package of the Aventi A11, especially the Aventi A11-01SE, the special edition, is about $6,000. Now, is that a lot of money? It is, but in relative terms, when it comes to other Sapphire watches, I think the next one that has to deal with a tourbillon, now let's be real, this is a Hong Kong tourbillon, so it is a Chinese tourbillon. However, look at the specs of this watch. It is a 99.99996% pure sapphire crystal case. The next thing comparatively is Aventi. The next thing after that with their other sapphire watches. After that, you're looking at something like Hublot, and we're talking $80,000 to $90,000 for that watch. Now, this watch specifically has a PK Resources double barrel tourbillon that has 72 hours of power reserve, 28,800 vibrations per hour. But that being said, let's just flip the camera around and we're gonna go in deep. We're gonna do some macro shots, some overall shots, and we are gonna change the strap because I bought an additional strap. We're gonna change the strap from their sort of silicone white clear-ish strap that looks amazing on the watch to a black leather strap. And you guys can tell me at the end in the comments below what you prefer. Do you prefer the clearish sort of white silicone strap, or do you prefer the black leather strap? So flip the camera around and dive right into this review. Now, if beauty had a name, it would be Aventi, and it would be the Pure Sapphire A11 with the DLC coated or the black coated dial. Now, first, let's talk about this sapphire crystal case because that is what is really attractive about this watch. So first, they use a pure sapphire clear case that's 99.9996% pure. Now, when this is CNC machined, it has 68 facets and 144 edges. Now, they machine it down to 1,000th of a millimeter. Honestly, they really make sure this thing is expertly crafted, which is amazing for the price point. And honestly, this thing is extremely hard to photograph. When I first saw it in pictures and I saw it on videos, you know, it sort of looks plasticky, and then you have it in your hand and it literally shines like a diamond. If you look at it in the right way, you have the prism effect, you can see amazing colors, the shine of light, the play is actually just amazing. Now, when cutting the case, it actually takes over 100 hours to manufacture the case. That's CNC cutting and that's polishing the case. Now, for sort of reference on hardness scales, there's something called the Mohs scale, and the Mohs scale is like a diamond is a 10 and the sapphire is like a 9. This makes it extremely scratch resistant. However, you really have to be careful because if you drop this watch, it could absolutely shatter. There's a reason why the Omega Speedmaster Space Watch has a Hesalite crystal and not a sapphire, and that's because sapphire can still shatter. Now, it's no surprise that this watch is not small. It is 48.5 millimeters in width, and at the longest point is 55.5 millimeters. Now, honestly, you have to really understand that for a watch like this, it's not meant to be a small watch. It is a statement piece, and it really does make a statement. Now, not only is the case made of sapphire, but so is the piece of crystal that covers the dial. Of course, it is also sapphire. Now, here's one of the things that I'm really nitpicky about. Now, it does have AR coating on both sides, right, on the top and the bottom. 7 layers on the top, 7 layers on the bottom really makes it anti-reflective. However, I would have preferred none on the top because eventually that could wear down and it looks like scratches on the sapphire. However, it's not. It's actually the anti-reflective coating. But hopefully the 7 layers stops that from happening. The dial itself on this watch is the DLC or diamond-like coating dial. This is a very dark black matte finish, and it does have Swiss Luminova on the indices and on the Aventi to allow it to shine at night or illuminate at night. One of the things that's not on this watch that is on the titanium watch is that sort of Tron look where it has the super luminova around the outside. This does not have that. It would sort of ruin the aesthetic with the sapphire. So completely understand. Now inside is the tourbillon movement. It is from PTS Resources. It's the same movement that is in the titanium Aventi A10. Now inside is a 25 joule, 72-hour double barrel tourbillon that beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. This is a awesome movement and it's really beautiful to look at. Really love the skeletonized version that they chose for this watch. Really plays, especially with that sapphire. Now again, let's talk about the main reason why this watch is so special outside of the A10, and that is going to be that pure sapphire case. Now Aventi offers so many different type of watch cases. They offer the titanium, the pure clear sapphire. They used to offer the royal blue. They offer the emerald REC, so it's like a green sort of sapphire, but it's an REC. And they offer the ruby red, which is limited edition, special authorization only. Now, one of the reasons why I really like the clear is simply because it's like wearing a giant diamond on your wrist. And I know that seems a little funny, but honestly, the way the facets and the faces of this watch really play on the light in the sun, it is super bright and brilliant. Honestly, if you ever want to feel like $1,000,000, if you ever want to feel like I have this awesome, expensive timepiece that nobody else has on your wrist, this is going to be it, honestly. And for the actual cost of this watch, you're hard pressed to find something that is this well done. On the macro shots, everything up close is near perfection, which is extremely hard to do on a clear case, to include the crown. The crown itself is also pure sapphire. Now the movement inside is beautiful, and one of the things that I really love is to be able to flip it over and see the case back. Now it says Tourbillon All Sapphire Aventi A11-01SE for their special edition and includes a serial number. Now Aventi themselves say in the future with their more expensive timepieces, they may end up including like a microchip in their watch just so it's easier to track. Their goal is to make awesome watches, luxury watches, watches that are, not necessarily the hardest to get, but you can't just purchase them. You have to go through their concierge service. So it sort of limits the production of their watches and it makes them more valuable and more, I hate to say regulated, but that's sort of what they're doing, which is fine. They get to choose their clientele. And honestly, I'm glad that I was able to purchase this watch. Beautiful. I love sitting there and just looking at this watch. Again, the way it plays in the light, the double tourbillon, not really a big fan of skeletonized movements normally, but the way they did this watch, it's perfect. Now, inside the movement is actually held in by like an acrylic holder or a plastic holder, which is noticeable if you truly look, but that's the only way they could do it to where you can see through everything and it's clear. Now with the overall aesthetic of their watch, and the reason that I actually got a black leather strap is because they offer this sort of semi-clear, milky white, really soft silicone strap. And mine specifically has a deployant clasp. You don't have to get the deployant clasp. You can get a basic standard buckle with a tang. However, I paid a little bit more to get the butterfly clasp simply because it just adds a little more elegance to it. Super easy to use, and I love the fact that it adjusts extremely easy on the wrist and it goes on easy as well. Honestly, I would say this silicone strap is far more comfortable than the ones that come on the A10. The A10s are a little more thicker, right? And a little more like harsh, I would say. They don't have as much give in the bend. The silicone strap they used on this is extremely comfortable. It's extremely pliable, and I've worn this a lot, and there's no sign of wear at all. Everything fits perfectly together. What I would recommend if you guys want to get this watch is also order the leather strap with it, the black one, and I'll show you why. Now, it's one thing to have the semi-clear transparent strap if you don't have the black DLC coated dial. But honestly, if you see the black strap and you see the black DLC coating here, it sort of gives it a nice contrast that I think really breaks up, things can wash themselves out. When you have, the reason I like the DLC coated dial and not the standard A10 clear sapphire is because it's like a brushed aluminum and it sort of washes everything out, right? It's kind of blah. I'm gonna be honest here, it's kind of blah. And that's why I like that whole black DLC. Now you can see right here that it does have a pure sapphire crown, and that thing, again, they really did a good job with this. Really, it grips very nicely, and honestly, I'm extremely happy with the way it hand winds, the way the movement is, and the way all the actions are. Now, that being said, let's just go ahead and toss this on the wrist. Then we're gonna do a strap change, and you can get an idea of what it is on the wrist with the white strap or the semi-clear strap, and then one with the black strap. And this is the watch on my 7¼ inch wrist on that standard strap, that standard silicone strap. You can see that this is a statement piece. It is meant to be a statement piece. It is meant to say, hey, look at my wrist. I am wearing this flashy tourbillon clear sapphire watch. There's no doubt about it. But here it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. You can see that it fits a little large. However, the curve of the shape of the case underneath the watch makes it extremely comfortable to wear. Whenever I wear my A10, which is the Medina Yellow, it's extremely comfortable, and the titanium makes it really light. So here it is without the strap, and I'm about to change it to the black leather strap. So let's just go ahead and show you that. Honestly, it comes with a really nice tool for the strap change. I was really happy about that. I mean, the entire watch set is extremely nicely done. And this is what it looks like on that black leather strap that was purchased in additional to everything else. Honestly, if you look at it, I really like just that break in color, the black and the clear and the black. I think it just gives it, it just elevates it and gives it a little more style. Honestly, if you think of something like a high-end purse, a high-end belt, a high-end bag for like your wife, that's sort of what that reminds me of. And here it is on the wrist. It's not as comfortable as the stock strap because the stock strap is silicone, and I'm gonna go back to it, but I'm gonna wear it like this for quite a while, and I'm gonna just see how it feels. I'm gonna see if I really like it on the black strap. I love it on the stock strap, and we'll see. Okay, now what do you guys think? Do you like the black strap, or do you like the semi-clear, transparent, cloudy white strap that came with it? Now, this one does look pretty awesome because it doesn't take away from any of the transparency of the crystal itself. Now, when this is on your wrist like this, you can see the strap through the sapphire case. Is that a big deal? No, not really at all, but it's just one of those things to consider. Honestly, I really like the fact that it does have some nice contrast, which to me is my favorite. The black dial, pure sapphire clear, crystal. However, I would have preferred the royal blue sapphire, but that has been discontinued. No longer will it ever be available. I don't consider this to be, this is a special edition watch, but this is probably not going to be around forever. So I'm glad that I was able to pick it up when I did. So what do you guys think of the Aventi A11-01SE? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I would love to hear what you guys have to think in the comments below. Now, I will say that I love what Aventi's doing, right? I love what they're doing. They have an emerald REC cased watch that is just like this, except it's emerald green. right? They do have their new Sapphire Skull special edition that's only for family members of Aventi. That means people who have had a purchase history with them in the past. In no way are these watches cheap at all. That one, the Sapphire Skull, the one that they're only offering to prior clients, part of the Aventi family, that is a Swiss tourbillon with a sapphire skull. It's not a Hong Kong Chinese tourbillon, it is a Swiss tourbillon. Aventi is really up in their game in what they're doing. A lot of people say, well, Aventi's crap, or Aventi's this, or Aventi's that, Aventi's cheap. Honestly, I think Aventi jumped into the pool of sort of exotic style watches at a perfect time. Honestly, right now in today's market, a Rolex, a stainless steel Rolex, and I'm going to be doing a video on this later of why you shouldn't buy a Rolex right now, but a stainless steel Submariner Rolex is nearly impossible to get at the authorized dealer, and if you want to buy one, you're going to buy one at a premium for like $12,000 when they retail at just under $8,000. And honestly, that's just a plain Jane blah stainless steel diving watch. So for the cost of one gray market Submariner that costs $12,000 simply because it says Rolex on it and that's it, I could buy two of these, right? I could have bought one of these, one of the clear sapphire with the standard dial, saved myself $1,000. I could have bought the Emerald REC for the same price or less. Or if I already have a purchase history, I could have bought a Swiss tourbillon with a sapphire skull and ruby red eyes for almost the same price. Guys, really, you need to look at Aventi. They're doing some pretty awesome stuff. And I love the fact that, like Richard Mille, they're really putting a lot of time into the materials that they're using. They're using a lot of exotic materials to include like a ruby red sapphire case that is by special order only, and you have to be approved by the owner to actually be able to spend your money and get one of those. That is my dream watch. I love the royal blue sapphire, but man, that ruby red, I wouldn't kill for it because I wouldn't spend the rest of my life in jail for it, but man, would I love to have that watch. Anyway, what do you guys think? Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment on the content you guys would like to see on this channel. I can literally talk about this stuff all day long. I just love what they're doing, especially with their watches. Now, what I would remind you guys to do is make sure you guys are hitting that notification bell to make sure that when I upload a video every 2 to 3 days, you guys are getting those notifications so you guys can continue to support and watch my videos. I do have a Timex Snoopy, Typing Snoopy automatic, the special edition that came out, I think, a year and a half ago. Really impossible to find. Can't believe how impossible it is to find. I have that watch because I love to write. That I got myself to inspire myself to continue writing. That watch review will be the next watch review after this. Hit that notification bell, guys, because how do you know if I drop that next video? I'll see you in the next one.